और A very good evening to the respected honorable participants. Welcome to the 15 days online training workshop program. Soon our honorable speaker will join the session and we are going to start the session. So please bear with us for 5 minutes more, then we will start the session.
Paresh sir has joined. You can start. Piyush?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Very good evening, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible and visible, sir. So, respected
Hello. I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are clearly audible and visible, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry that due to some sudden program and field, I'm traveling, but I will.
No issues, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So, respected participants, as you can see that our honorable guest speaker has joined. So, first, good evening to everyone. And as we know, it's our 77th Independence Day. So, wishing you all a very happy Independence Day. Myself, Dr. Piyush Chaudhary, would like to coordinately
पीयूष अनम्यूट करना अपना, अनम्यूट। या कंटिन्यू।
Sorry. So very good evening to respected participants and wishing you all a very happy Independence Day. It's our 77th Independence Day. We are celebrating the independence for the freedom of a nation. So the main theme of our Independence Day was Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, for the nation first and always first. So welcome all of you on behalf of Just Agriculture team. I, Dr. Piyush Chaudhary, coordinately invite and welcome all of you to the first day of this Agriculture 5.0 15 days international training come workshop program on next level approach towards smart farming, innovation, and agri-entrepreneurship. We would like to appreciate our co-organizers and knowledge partners for inviting us and joining us in this great program. As you know, that Just Agriculture is a large platform and is organizing various events and various training programs simultaneously for the benefits of students, scientists, researchers, many more. So coming to this session, today I feel privileged to welcome and thank Professor Dr. Indramani sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Vasantrao Nayak, Marathwada Krishi Vidyapit, Prabhani, Maharashtra, the organizing course director of this training program, Dr. DPS Badwal sir, the course convener, Dr. Sandeep J. Sindhe sir from Prabhani University, and the course director of this training program, Dr. Mohit Bhardwaj, the member of other organizing committees, course coordinators, and all the major participants, those who are attached with us in this online training program. So the honorable guest of today's session and the first speaker, Professor Dr. Indramani sir, is the Vice Chancellor of VNKV Prabhani Maharashtra. So before inviting to the sir, I would like to give a brief introduction about the sir so that our participants could inspire themselves. So Professor Dr. Indramani sir joined Vice Chancellor VNKV Prabhani Maharashtra on July 25th in 2022. Sir also served as Joint Director Research, Coordinator School of Natural Resource Management, and Head Division of Agriculture Engineering of ICR New Delhi. During his career span of 30 years, Sir has made extremely contribution in the area of machinery development for agro-residue management, dryland agriculture, vegetable mechanization, small farm mechanization, and equipment for enhancing the fertilizer use efficiency, which is the need of the hour. And the technologies developed by Honorable Sir have been developed and upskilled by him and have reached to more than 19 states of the country. Sir has also credited to have established the Design Innovation Center in collaboration with Indian Institute of Technology for developing innovative solutions. Sir has been a coordinator of IRI, NEH, TSP, MGMG program for improving the livelihood of farmers in the northeastern hill regions and tribal areas of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Delhi. Honorable Sir has worked as in charge of Center of Protected Cultivation Technology, IRI, New Delhi. And as a professor, Sir has taught many students and guided 23 PhD students and 12 MTech students on different aspects of agriculture mechanization. As a great researcher, Sir has also published more than 150 papers in peer-reviewed national journals, international journals, and Sir has also having a record demonstration of IRI developed Pusa decomposer, which was carried by UPL in an area of 4.5 lakh acre in the state of Punjab and Haryana. Sir has served different professional societies in various capacities, also served as President, Indian Society of Agriculture Engineering during 2018 to 2021, and has contributed for the development of strong partnership and networking with global agriculture engineering. Sir has an instrumental expertization for developing and having the MOUs between various societies from ISAE, Nigeria, NSAE, Nepal, Malaysia, and Sir has also been a front for advocating and developing different farmer technique mechanization strategies. Sir has been an instrumental in development of agriculture drone policy of India by serving and convener of the committee for developing and standardizing the guidelines for the use of drones in agriculture, which is a major innovative and useful thought. And the sir was also the chairman of the committee to explore the possibilities and requirements of the drone technology for soil nutrient application, drafting of standard operational guidance, and also involved in mentoring and mobilizing the startups related to the farm technologies activities for the various farmers and other institutes. Sir has been actively involved in different technology innovation form of agriculture nutrition, a platform to solve the real mechanization challenges. This was a great inspiration from the Sir side, and Sir has been also awarded with many awards such as ICR Bharat Ratan C. Subramaniam Outstanding Teacher Award, ASAB Presidential Citation Award, ICR Jawaharlal Nehru Award, IRI Best Teacher Award, and Institution of Engineering Gold Medal, ASPEE Award, Fellow of International Academy of Agriculture and Biosystem Engineering in 2022, fellowships, and various team awards for outstanding work and for the book awards. Sir has a wide experience of international exposure by visiting various countries like Southeast Asia, North America, Africa, Japan, USA, Europe, and had made a remarkable contribution in developing the industry, institution, farmers, innovators linkage for effective illusion of the technology. So this was a great journey, sir, and some points for the sir for developing at the Prabhani Maharashtra also after joining as a vice chancellor. Sir has been keen involved in interesting in reorientation of the education, research, extension programs, and sir has stressed more on research in all crops, focusing in development of the farmers, technologies as per the need of processing industries. Apart from this, sir has also initiated extension programs like one whole day on farms field to overcome the difficulties of the farmers, particularly management of pest, disease, and improving the productivity of crops. Sir has also started working on strengthening of laboratories, students, and developing of infrastructure in the university, and has a vision to improve the university ranking and bringing it in the list of the top university. This was a brief introduction of Sir, and we are highly delighted that Sir, you are here with us. So we would like to hear some good thoughts and get motivated and appreciable from your side. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm really grateful to the organizers for giving the opportunity to interact with such a large gathering. As I'm saying, there were 520 participants in this program. And thank you for a very comprehensive introduction. First of all, I would like to convey from my side also the greetings of Independence Day. As you said that we are celebrating 77th Independence Day, and this journey have been a wonderful, a record growth. As the Prime Minister morning said that we are going to be, first among the first three economy of the world, and agriculture is going to be one very important segment of Indian economy. My dear participants, welcome to this program, training program. Today is the first session, and I would like to just give an overview of Indian agriculture, from where it moved, where it has reached, and where it has to go down the line 50 years. What will be, the Indian agriculture? We are always talking Indian agriculture 2047. So you all know that when we got independence, the country was in bad shape. Agriculture was at its lowest step. It's a nadir, you can say. And total food grain production was just 50 million ton. And you all know that the young boys and girls who have joined, you know that 60s was the worst period for the country. We were, the tag was stripped to mouth. And in fact, word said that no one can say that was the prediction about the country. Thanks to our you said about one award, and which Bharat Ratna C. Subramaniam Outstanding Teacher Award, which was given to me. And this gentleman, Bharat Ratna C. Subramaniam, was a great visionary leader who was agriculture minister when Madam Gandhi was prime minister. And then this, the whole, efforts about green revolution started. We all know the contribution of Norman Borlaug, the contribution of Professor M.S. Swaminathan, and all different agricultural institutions and universities that dwarf variety of wheat, that was imported in a large quantity. A risk was taken, and countries started progressing in agriculture. From 50 million ton in 1950, 323 million ton, which we are going to harvest this year, is not a small journey. You all know that we are first in many cases. You take grain production, I told that it is 323. Horticulture production more than 350 million ton. We are first in milk. We are first in many fruits. We are first in pulses production. We are first in and second in many fruits and vegetables, third in meat and fish production. So India was basically one thing you all should understand, that policy of India was not to copy anyone, whether America or Europe or any other group. And our planners, despite so long, years of dependence, gulami, immediately we thought that our path should be chosen by us according to our need. You mentioned about Nigerian society. Recently, I was in 2018-19, I was in Nigeria, and they were crying that we did not follow India. We would have followed India. They followed this. Many of the African countries followed American technology, and they become follower of America, and they are suffering even now. So best thing about our country was that we took our own initiative according to our own need, according to our own resources, according to our own technical and scientific manpower, and we progressed. Green Revolution, then White Revolution, thanks to Professor Korean Varghese. And then we decided that Rainbow Revolution, 7 colors revolution. So it may be blue, it may be yellow. So oil seed, then fisheries, then pulses in all different areas, we started growing. And result is before you. The saga of success in agriculture, we can attribute to wonderful planning by policymakers, wonderful efforts by researchers, and wonderful hard work by farmers. These three, big efforts are now responsible that we have an agriculture which is, world says that we have good experience of sustainable agriculture, sustainable production. COVID came, worst situation came, whole world started crying, peeping, but India kept on moving. Even this is a record that, with buffer stock, how much, a big population we are basically feeding through our reserve stock. And our Prime Minister last year, if you remember, said that if need arise, we can feed the whole world. Wherever there is deficit, we can feed. So that has been a wonderful journey, as I said, and we are moving. We are now, I say, food self-sufficient. But challenges are there. So we have to understand that challenges are there. You all know that more than 84% of the land holding and if our farmers are small or marginal farmers. Very less land holding. That is one challenge. Still in many parts of the country, agriculture is not profitable business. It is just for sustenance. Agriculture needs to be made profitable. Our own survey says that more than 50% farmers, son and daughter, are not interested in agriculture. So what are the reasons? We have to just understand that what are the reasons. And one of the reason is that agriculture is not remunerative. Agriculture is not given that respect which it should be given. So that is another important thing when we are talking about agriculture 5.0. So we have to understand that what are the challenges. My dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, agriculture, when in July 2001, Honorable Prime Minister called a meeting of top 100, institutions, head of science and technology institutions, and told them that agriculture, Indian agriculture, and even today he said, if you see the morning speech, even today he said that agriculture needs advanced technology. And in July 2001 meeting, which I'm referring to, he bracketed agriculture with defense, with health, with education, with cybersecurity, with even your this climate change issues. And bracketed means all these are of equal importance. India has been pursuing a policy that national security and food security go together. You cannot have a sword in one hand and begging bowl in other. That's very important thing. The policy of India that you have to have quality food production in terms of grain, in terms of pulses, in terms of all other requirement. So now many times Prime Minister Modi has said that you have to, adopt new tools and technology in agriculture. It may be big data analysis. It may be artificial intelligence. It may be a drone. It may be robotics. All these are required in Indian agriculture. You mentioned about drone. I would like to discuss little bit more on drone. So drone in 2018-19, there was an interface between ICR and Ministry of Agriculture, in which it was decided that drone application of drone in agriculture, there should be guidelines. And Ministry gave this responsibility to ICR, and I was convener of that committee. And we developed guidelines for, adoption of drone in agriculture. And what all, after a number of deliberations and pilot field experiments, we gave recommendation, and those recommendations, thanks to the ministry, they were sent to Ministry of Civil Aviation. Earlier, it was very, very difficult to talk about use of drone in agriculture because of impending all different issues, including security issues. But because of our persuasion and uh, willingness of both Ministry of Civil Aviation and Ministry of Agriculture, this drone use, they started, they took a favorable decision. And when we submitted our report, immediately Ministry of Agriculture sent a note to Ministry of Civil Aviation, and most of our recommendations were accepted by Ministry of Civil Aviation. And after that, I was given the responsibility to prepare SOP for application of pesticides and plant protection chemical to different crops. We basically developed a comprehensive SOP, submitted to government, and those were accepted. Later on, this was basically, it was necessary to popularize, and our committee recommended to the government that drone should be treated as any other equipment, like tractor, like cultivator, and government was kind enough to accept those recommendations and brought drone into submission of agricultural mechanization, a policy in which we give subsidy to drones and for different farm implements. And for your knowledge, you must be knowing now that for drone, for institutions, for popularization of drone, we gave free of cost. 300 drones were distributed to different KBKs, FPOs, and universities to have demonstration, make the people to understand its utility. And then at the same time, government came out with a policy that drone 50%, 40% subsidy to anyone, 50% subsidy to those who are SC/ST farmers or women farmers. And as I said, that to FPO 75%. And that kind of, this help government of India extended. Many state government has come up with their own policy in addition to the central government policy. All different states are working, seeing the utility of this technology. See, the 2-3 direct advantage that if you take almost a farmer take the whole day to cover 1 acre of area under to spray, but drone takes only 7 minutes. 30% saving of input, either in terms of chemical, fertilizer, all are there. Uniformity is there. Penetration, complete penetration is there. efficacy is more, efficiency is more, and the operator faces a lot of problem when health issues and all when he is spraying the chemical in the field. So this actually drone saves from those problems also. And remember, drone is a machine. It is not something like only for pesticide. You can spray do a foliage spray of fertilizer. You can go for spray of nano fertilizer, which that how this technology is becoming purple. Nano urea, nano DAP, even the biopesticide, biofertilizer, all whichever is in liquid form, it can be sprayed by drone. So this is one technology which is going to be very, very popular. And in addition, the crop health monitoring, the soil health monitoring, all will be crop damage monitoring, all a good tool, scientific tool to measure damage. If you have to you have to pay compensation, whether a real person is getting compensation, really affected person is getting compensation, or someone else. So all these important aspect will be uh, covered by drone. Similarly, robotics, immediate application of robotics. Be at BNKB Parbhani have a fleet of 5 drone, and we are taking these drone for to farmers field, even on custom hire basis. We are demonstrating these drones. Similarly, we have 2 grafting robots. So robotics are very, very important for nursery and for grafting, inefficient grafting. So we are doing that also. And then robot may be useful for the mechanization, which has not become possible so far, like cotton picking. Similarly, drone can be used for any repetitive work. So drone is another very important technology. Artificial intelligence, we are talking. Artificial intelligence, in fact, will be used in drone also. And suppose what is our research is going on, that if you have a drone you are using, and if there is this, artificial intelligence system should be embedded to you, and with the machine in toto can evaluate first the whether in which area the crop damage is or infestation is there. Only in those portion the application of pesticide should be there. So it will save the pesticide also, and it will save the environment also. So AI is going to be one important component in agriculture. Then we are sensors are very, very useful, and sensor are being used, whether it is soil moisture sensor or plant health sensor or automation, for different kind of automation, particularly in irrigation. Uh, Sensors are very, very important. So automation is another very important area where and sensor based automation in different aspects, those that is they are going to save input in terms of fertilizer, in terms of irrigation water, in terms of chemical pesticide, all those. So sensor will be another very important aspect. Then mechanization as a whole, my dear friends, world now has accepted that future agriculture will be engineering agriculture. This I underline. Future agriculture will be engineering agriculture. In 21st century, another very important statement I want to make, that engineers must know biology and biologists must know engineering. Because in isolation, you can't work. So now the gaps between engineering and biology are going to be abridged, are needed to be abridged. And I don't know, many of you might be knowing that very recently, Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, started a medical college. So you all know that I was, I conducted one project with IIT Kanpur, and it was in Hub Spoke Mart. You mentioned about establishing DIC, Design Innovation Center at IARI, and IIT Kanpur got engaged through Ministry of the Human Resource Development, HRD, Education Ministry. They gave fund. So 1 crore they gave to us, and 1 crore, more than 1 crore to IIT Kanpur. Similarly, they gave to HBTI for textile. They gave to Sanjay Gandhi Medical Institute in Lucknow to them, and all three, B3, one institution of medical, one agriculture, and one textile industry, they all were spoke, and IIT Kanpur was hub. So this kind of coordination and collaborations are needed. So these engineering institutions are very, very required to give hardcore engineering to agriculture, to textile industry, to medical colleges, all. So this kind of, what I said, that now those kind of isolation are not possible. So, and now number of projects these institutions are doing with engineering. So we have to understand that future agriculture will be engineering agriculture. And the other thing which I told that engineers have to have knowledge of biology, and biologists have to have knowledge of engineering. Gone are the days when civil engineers was taught only RCC. It's not now. You have to understand the environment. You have to understand everything. We are calling Griha 5, Griha 3, Griha 4. So these are the standards of making even building. So where environment will come. So we have to understand that in the civil engineering structures, there is going to live a human being, and he needs he's a biology. So that's a biology and engineering need to be integrated. So in agriculture, this becomes very, very important, which I'm saying, and we are going to pursue. And many other things are coming, and many other things will be part of agriculture. Uh, uh, and once we are talking this agriculture 5.0, that means that will be engineering agriculture, that will be sensor-based agriculture, that will be technology-based agriculture. But at the same time, we have to understand this country is very big, and Indian agriculture is diverse and complex. There are a region in hilly areas where you can't get 10 into 10 meter plot. So what will be the mechanization? So appropriate mechanization and appropriate technology will be required. So there is a scope of even smart manual equipment. There is scope of even in some area. I'm in Maharashtra, large number of even today animal power is in use. So they need efficient tools, efficient machine, which can better harness the animal power. And at the same time, we need automation. So Indian agriculture is something like what I call it G2G, means grassroots to global. Grassroots to global. So that kind of cooperation and collaboration will be needed. I give one or two slogan. One is that this G2G, grassroots to global. Then another is CIC, that is collaborate, innovate, and commercialize. So this is another thing. Collaboration is very, very important. Different institutions should collaborate, and then innovate, and innovations are required in agriculture. That will make Indian agriculture 5.0 a reality. I am, as I said, I'm traveling, and I have reached at some place where I have to get down. I'm just sitting, and all others are waiting outside the car. I am with my family here, and I will request that I may be excused, and any question is there, it can be shared on my email, or I will be, any other time, because this your session will go for 1 month. I will try to make myself available in future. Happy Independence Day to you all. Thanks to the organizers. And for this beautiful initiative. You all came there in Parbhani, and I greeted you. In each such efforts, I will try to uh, cooperate, help, and see that what best we can do for Indian agriculture, Indian farmers. I am believing in a philosophy which I want to convey, which I am doing in Maharashtra. Setkari Devo Bhav, Setkari Devo Bhav, Kisan Devo Bhav. All of us who are in agriculture must feel that we have to treat farmers a very respectable, farming a very respectable profession, and farmers a very respected professional. This is one thing which is important, and I started from here only, and I want to conclude that if you want to make this profession a respectable one, then you have to bring technology. You have to bring robot. You have to bring drone. You have to bring tractor. You have to bring modern tractor. All those things are required. Thank you very much. You can rest of the time check and interact.
Yes.
And I will be really grateful if you can excuse me.
Thank you so much, sir, for blessing us with your kind words and taking your time with your busy schedule. Definitely, sir, we will be missing some of the lecture part of yours. So we would be pleasure that if you join us on some other day and can bless all the participants.
I will.
Yes, sir. And
Thank you very much.
meanwhile, in this course program, we are having modern technologies, smart farming, drone technologies, and various lectures. So we will definitely be waiting for you to inspire.
Sure. I'll try.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So nice, sir.
Yes. So, dear participants, this was our first speaker of the first day session, Honorable Sir. So, coming and moving forward with the next session, I would like to invite Ms. Preeti. We are having a lecture of another speaker, Mr. Gaurav. So, Ms. Preeti, you're there? Yes, Preeti, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible and visible. As the scheduled time for the next speaker was 6, so dear participants, our next speaker is joining us shortly. So I would like to also inform all the participants that Just Agriculture Society, what they are doing and what they have organized, and many events and all. So just giving a brief summary of the Just Agriculture, as the Just Agriculture is the largest agri-professional platform, which is having more than 5 lakh readers across the world and having a large number of issues of the practical and the manuals and the magazines. And Just Agriculture Society magazine and newsletter has published more than 2,500 articles from the academicians, researchers, students of ICR, SEUs, and many more. Also, this magazine is widely circulated among the farmers, professionals, and academicians among different states of India and other universities. On the other hand, the society, that is Agro-Environmental Education and Farmer Welfare Society, it aims to enhance the livelihood and opportunity for more than 1 million farmer households in the country. And these both organizations is working for the agriculture and allied sectors professionals in the country right now. Also, we are targeting to aim the facilitating and modernization technologies which can be done and give informations to the researchers in the various universities. And for that only, Just Agriculture is simultaneously organizing various conferences, seminars, and trainings. So, Preeti, you can also give us some brief about yourself or something related to our this training program only. Meanwhile, our next speaker will join. Preeti, please unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, I was not being given access at that time. So, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Good afternoon, sir. So actually, our next guest will be joining in, I think, 10 to 15 minutes. So we have to keep engaged. I would like to tell our participants about the this training and conference program, which is organized by Just Agriculture. So, dear participants, this is a 15 days international training workshop program organized by Team Just Agriculture, which is India's one of the esteemed e-magazine. And the theme of the program is on next level approach towards smart farming, innovations, and agripreneurship. So it will be from 15 August to 30th August 2023. The topics that this training program will be covering, the main themes are like hydroponics and post-harvest technology, benefits of e-marketplace to the farmers, A to Z of the drone technology and agri-bots. And I guess our next guest will be taking the session on drone technology as well. So then mushroom production and technology, role of artificial intelligence, SAS, Internet of Things, blockchain technologies that are used in agriculture, agripreneurship and establishment of successful agribusiness ventures, organic farming, honeybee production, food processing, and marketing also. And we will be having daily, we will be having 2 to 3 sessions of each guest. And I would like to, tell our participants that this training program will be going to very helpful for our participants. And all those topics, as Indira sir were telling, the next world will be going to engineering world. So yeah, so I think this whole training program will be very useful. So I would like to request our participants that they should more and more engaged, and they should more and more participate. So my team has told me that our next guest has joined. Yeah, Gaurav sir has joined. So I welcome you, sir. So before now, without taking much time, now I would like to tell our participants about the guest, and I think I would like to start the session. So first of all, I would like to welcome you all to this 15 days international training workshop program. A brief introduction about Dr. Gaurav Narang. He is a founder and CEO at City Greens. About his education, I would like to tell that he has done his PGDCM in Business Administration and Management from Calcutta, that is Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta. Sir which is India's leading City Greens, where Sir is founder and CEO. It's India's leading agri-tech startup in the domain of hydroponics, aeroponics, and farm automation, which is supported by Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Science and Technology through grants awards of like rupees 45 lakhs or something. Sir's previous startups include healthcare domain acquired by Portia Medical, which is India's largest home healthcare company. Also, talking about Sir's experience, Sir is presently a member and board of governors in Indian Institute of Information Technology, Sonipat, and member of Seed Support Management Committee at AIDA Technology Business Incubator of Naram. Okay, this is Naram, Hyderabad. Again, Sir is a senior vice president at Portia also. Talking about Sir's honors and awards, Sir has been awarded with the Economic Times Young Leader Award from the Economic Times India. Sir has reached the final stage on the ground assessment of ETYL 2012. I'm sorry, sir, I don't know what is ETYL. An initiative to recognize our young Indians corporate leaders. Okay, this is young Indian corporate leaders. So Sir would like to tell us about this also. Then Sir has been a recipient of Sir Gebert Fellowship at Switzerland. Sir has already received Rubicon International Contest for Business Students, that is BITS Germany, and which was finalized in the.
You can stop, please.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So I welcome you, sir. I think a podium is all yours. Our participants are waiting. So please address us, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. And first of all, happy Independence Day to all of you. I think most of the guests are from India, the other from international community. So we have our Independence Day today. Happy Independence Day to all of you. We'll get started. I won't waste a lot of your time. I will divide today's section into three parts. In the first part, I will very briefly talk about a bit about what we do and what my experience is in. After that part, instead of just giving a monologue, what I would want it to be an interactive session. I understand that you guys don't have access to mic, but I believe you might have access to the chat box. So is that correct, Preeti? They have access to the chat box?
Yes, sir. Or
Can
if it is
guess?
not there, I will just see it here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please let the participants send the messages if they can. So in the
Yes, sir.
second
Yes.
part, I would want to understand what are the things that you would want me to cover based on what expertise I have. So in the second part, then I will talk about those specific things that you would want me to cover. And in the third part, I will take some questions and answers. That's what I will do, right? So Preeti, thanks to you for getting into too much of my details.
Thank you, sir.
I am now 41 years old. It was going back to around 20 years, so not needed. I'll just tell you about my corporate career. I did my graduation, post-graduation from IIM Calcutta. After that, I did my first startup. My first startup was in the domain of healthcare, which we ran for 9 years. And after that, we sold this startup to Portia Medical, which is India's largest home healthcare company. So I have a good amount of health startup experience. My second startup is City Greens, which is the startup which we have now. We started this in 2017. This is again India's most awarded startup in the domain of controlled environment, agriculture, and hydroponics. And when I say most awarded, I'm not talking about the normal awards. I'm talking about reputed national level awards. Financial Express, which is a national newspaper, they gave us this designation that we are the India's most awarded startup. We have received 65 lakh rupees in grant awards from 3 different ministries of India. In the startup space, apart from running this startup, I also help other startups by being a member of investment committee of A-Idea NAM. A-Idea NAM, of those of you who don't know, it's India's largest agri-tech incubator. So I sit on a committee where we decide which are the agri startups, good initiative, which can be funded. So we help them in funding and those early stage agri startups, which are good. I am also a member of Board of Governors of IIIT Sonipat. Coming to City Greens, we started this business around 6 years back now. 2017 is when we started. And when we started, we did not have any experience in agriculture per se. So I'm not a person who is from agriculture background, unlike most of you. We started this business with hobby segment. We looked at people who wanted to grow food at home. We created multiple hobby kits. We created different kind of nutrients inputs, and we started catering to these guys. You can find us on Amazon. That is what we started with. While we did that, in the same breath, we also had set up a research center wherein we started experimenting with hydroponics technologies for large scale farming. Hydroponics is something which was not very successful in India. I'm talking about again 7 years back. We wanted to figure out hobby is a different thing, but can it be a large scale business? That is what we wanted to figure out. So we created a research center. It was hosted within a government institute called iCreate in Ahmedabad. In that, we did a lot of research. And then after 2 and 3 years of research, we decided, okay, now we have developed the technologies which the very first farm we had set up at large scale was Gabbar Farm, which is now Ahmedabad's most successful hydroponic farm. We had set it up for our client there. And after around same time, we also realized that scaling up the business is very difficult because there is a lack of good skill set. You can set up a farm, but unless you have right skill set of people, it will be very difficult to run the farm and make money out of it. So we also started working on developing technologies for automation of hydroponic farms. This is what we started around 3 years back, and last year we have launched our automation suite of technologies which can automate any hydroponic, aeroponic, indoor vertical farm or any controlled environment farm. And this is where we are now. So we farm for commercial growers. We also have technology suite, which can automate different parts of a hydroponic farm. We also have a software based suite, which can help you with the planning of the farm. So this is essentially on hydroponics, what we have been doing in last 6 to 7 years. Now, with this very brief background of what we are doing and what we can do, since I don't know background of most of you guys, we will move to phase 2, wherein if you can put in your questions, and depending upon what are common questions, I will take the second phase where I will elaborate on different things which we can do. Right. So I'll wait for your questions. If you can put your questions in the chat box, will be great. Okay, keep it coming. I am reading the questions. Keep it coming. Okay. 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 Okay, I think we have good number of questions. I can get started now. So essentially, if I look at the summary of questions, one is you guys want to understand why I choose to get into agriculture, and within agriculture, hydroponics. Second part, what changed about hydroponics, why it was not profitable in India, and is it still profitable in India or not, and how it will scale up. Third part is a question around the marketability. I'm right now not reading the chat, so you can stop typing if you are typing right now. We can do it again later in the third phase. The third part is about the nature of hydroponic produce. How do you go about marketing it? Is it organic? Is it not organic? That's the third part of the question, which I understand. Mainly what I have understood is you guys want to understand, is hydroponic a viable business? If I talk about it in a nutshell, right? So what I will do is, to make it interesting, I will take you through my story in terms of why I started hydroponics and how I looked at the different segments in hydroponics, what challenges we faced, and how we moved about marketing of hydroponic produce and where we have reached. This will answer most of your questions. And then again, we will take individual questions one by one, right? So like I said, I had a startup earlier. My startup was in the domain of healthcare. Now, in that particular startup, what we were doing, we were looking at patients who were suffering from chronic segment diseases. When I say chronic segment diseases, these are diseases which once you acquire in your life, you have to live with them for the lifetime. So like diabetes, cancer, autoimmune diseases, rheumatoid arthritis, these are the kind of diseases we were dealing with, and we were helping the patients of these diseases to get affordable medical care. Now, during that time, we realized that there is a pattern. Most of these diseases are actually impacting, or prevalence is much higher in the cities. The more developed you are, the more you are prone to have these kind of diseases. Even if you look at COVID impacted mostly people living in the developed and clean world. Within India, the cities had a larger impact and the villages had a very little impact, though those were the guys who suffered because of lockdown. But villagers, people who lived in or daily wage laborers, they had a very little impact of COVID in terms of fatality. So what we realized, a lot of these diseases are happening because of the kind of food we are eating. And the more and more we read about it, we realized that the food that we are eating is laced with a lot of pesticides and harmful practices. For example, yesterday, I'm telling you, I'm living in Bangalore. Yesterday, I ordered spinach from Blinkit. Blinkit is a startup. I got a spinach and I washed it in water. It's for 250 grams of spinach. It's 320 rupees kg. I thought the spinach I am getting would be very clean, but essentially the spinach was doused with malachite green. Malachite green is a chemical which is used to give green color to the plants so that people buy it. It looks good. But this is a cancer-causing chemical. And I'm talking about yesterday. I'm talking about a company, Blinkit, from where I bought this thing, right? So we realized that the kind of food people people are getting in market is not really good. So when we started this business, our initial idea was not hydroponic. Our initial idea was that we will get into trading of food. We already were doing trading of medicines. We already knew how to manage cold chain. So we had the logistics. We understand all that market. We were in 20 cities in India. All we thought, we will find out good growers of food. We'll buy those food items and we will sell it to consumers. So something that we were doing for medicines, we will do that for food. But then when we went on the ground and started doing more research about food, we realized it's very difficult to find good quality food. And pesticides are used rampant, whether it's organic or inorganic. Even in organic, you will have organic pesticide. So there is a very big myth in consumer mind that organic pesticide is safe. That's a myth. Everything organic is not safe. I'll give you an example. Cobra poison is an organic poison. It's not safe for you. So everything organic is not safe. A paracetamol, which is a chemical, may be safer to you as compared to cobra poison. I will never take cobra poison because it is organic, just because it is organic. So these kind of myths are there in the market, and you realize them only when you get into the ground and understand what's happening. So when we did that, we realized that the main problem is the supply of good quality food. It's the problem is of growing. There is not enough technologies to grow good quality of food. And when we were researching about these technologies, that was the first time came across terms like hydroponics. Till that time, I had not even heard of hydroponic. And I, being a computer engineer and an MBA, the engineering side said, okay, let's try to do this. This is something which has worked in the developed world. We also realized it has failed in India. And the primary reason we believed it failed in India was because we were importing a technology from the West, which was developed at a very high cost point. And we were trying to make it work in India without understanding the ground level conditions in India, which was bound to fail. There was no questions about it. So we decided we will now get into hydroponic and try it for 2 years and see if we can work a business. If not work a business model, we will stop the business. We will start something else. We'll shut down. So with that idea, we started hydroponics. That is how we ventured into hydroponic business. Now, again, since we did not know much about agriculture, we decided to look for support. We took incubation with AIDEA NAM, where I today sit as an investment committee member. Around 6 years back, I was an incubator with them. And we also started, just to earn money, we started creating kits and selling them on Amazon so that we can earn money and pay the salaries for our people. And since we did not know much about agriculture and hydroponics, we decided we will get our hands dirty. We will grow and learn by growing rather than just reading things on Google or attending webinars. We thought we will get our hands dirty. We will learn by growing. So we set up our research farm and we imported multiple different kind of hydroponic equipments from all across the world. And we started creating our own equipment and we started growing Indian crops in these and learning what works, what does not work in different kind of environments. So we did that for 2-3 years, and that was when we set up our first commercial farm. This was for a client called Gabbar Farms. It was in Ahmedabad. Now, Ahmedabad is a smaller city as compared to Bombay, Bangalore. It's not much advanced. And there was a doubt that will hydroponic work there. So we had set up that farm there. And today, I'll happily say that Gabbar Farm is the largest hydroponic producer in Ahmedabad. We started with one farm in 2020. Next year, one more farm was added. And then year after that, the third farm was added. And now we are setting up a 3-acre farm there because the demand is very high. That's where we went into B2B segment or commercial growing. I saw one question saying, what is hydroponic? My bad, I assumed everyone will know. Hydroponic is a way of growing vegetables without using soil. So it's essentially a soilless cultivation in which you are not using soil, you are growing plants in a liquid media, and in that liquid media, you are giving nutrients. So very basic, this is hydroponics. Now, apart from hydroponics, we realized there are other technologies also which can improve productivity even further. So we went into aeroponics. In aeroponics, we even remove the water. We even remove the liquid media. The roots of plants are suspended in air itself. That is called aeroponics. So we have set up India's first fully automated aeroponic farm for growing medical grade cannabis in the state of Uttarakhand. That's also what we have done apart from being in hydroponics. Then there is some third technology called indoor vertical farming, where you eliminate even sunlight. So in hydroponics, we eliminate soil. We can even eliminate sunlight and give LED protective lighting and grow crops under those LED lights. So we have done that also. The tallest indoor vertical farm, 18 feet high in Bangalore, is in our head office. We have set up multiple indoor vertical farms also in different parts of the country. So these are different kind of businesses we have done for our customers, or different kind of farms that we have set up. Now, apart from setting up these farms, we also started developing technology to operate these farms. So when you take a plant out of soil, see, soil is like Mother Earth, it's very accommodative. It gives you a lot of times. Let's say you are growing some plants in soil, you will do flood irrigation once, and then after 2-3 days, you will give irrigation again. The moment you take a plant out of soil, the roots are now visible. They are now directly in a liquid media. Now, if you don't give nutrient, or let's say if you talk about aeroponics, if the roots are in air, they can dry out within 4 to 5 hours. If the nutrient is not given for 5 to 6 hours, the entire plants can die. So in case of aeroponics, hydroponics, or these kind of technologies, it's difficult to grow. It's not very easy to grow. And that is one reason why a lot of hydroponic farms failed in India, why it was not very successful, because people did not have the right kind of skill set to grow it. Just by buying the equipment, it cannot work. For example, you can buy a race car. That will not make you a race driver, right? You can't drive that car. If you sit on the wheel, you will crash and you will kill someone, or you will kill yourself. So even if you have the technology, unless you know how to use it, you will not be able to put it to good use. This was one primary reason why hydroponic was failing in India. And we realized it when we started setting up these farms, that the skill set is very minimal in terms of people who know how to use it. So we also started then developing technology so that it can be automated. So if you have a race car now, which is made by Tesla, you don't need to worry. You don't need to know how to drive, because Tesla can drive itself. So we started creating automation technologies which can run the hydroponic farm by itself. So whether it's nutrient mixing, or whether it's the timing of irrigation, or whether it's the control of climate by running fence and pad or operating shade net, all of these things can be automated. And that is the automation part which we started creating, and which is the third business vertical that we have within our business lines. Now, that's the summary. Coming about one more question which was there, I'll take just, there were two more questions. One was about market. How do we go about marketing, and where is the market of hydroponic produce in India? I'll give you two examples. I'll give you two examples of the markets where we are. We are based in Bangalore. That's where our headquarters is. Our technology team head office sits in Bangalore, and that's one market where we are very active. The second market where we are very active is Ahmedabad, because that is where our research farm is. We have around 3.25 acre of research farm, which has multiple microclimates where we keep on growing different kind of crops, keep on developing new technologies. Both of these markets are very different markets. And I'll talk about both of these markets, how we operate in these. And that will give you an idea of what is the acceptance of hydroponic market in hydroponic produce in India. In Ahmedabad, we are largely growing exotics. And the market there that we are catering to is exotic market. When I say exotic, these are crops which are not generally grown in Indian climate. For example, if I talk about the fruiting crops, it's like colored peppers, jalapenos, bird eye chilies. These are pepper families. Then beef stick tomato, East tomato is around 500 grams in size, in weight. Cherry tomatoes, then zucchinis. These are the kind of crops, or Thai bird eye, Thai chilies. So these are the kind of crops that we grow on the fruiting side. On the leafy side, we grow lettuces, kale, Swiss chard, sage, rocket, or arugula. These are the kind of crops that we grow on leafy side, and these all are supplied to different hotels. So Ahmedabad, primarily what we are doing is we are in exotic market, and people who buy these produce are generally 5-star hotels. For example, Leela, ITC, Hyatt, all of these hotels buy these produce. This is one set of market. The second set of market, which is in Bangalore, is entirely different. In Bangalore, we are only focusing on Indian crops. So in Bangalore, we are growing exclusively spinach. And this is spinach is what we are providing to Big Basket, Milk Basket, and some other players. And through them, when you are buying, you are getting the spinach, which is grown by us. So these are very different markets. One is a market of Indian crops, and other is a market of exotic crops. With both we have tackled. Coming to the acceptability and price point, hydroponic produce is costly. It's costly to set up a hydroponic farm. And if you have put in more money to set up a farm, you need to get the money back also, right? So you are forced to sell it at a higher price point. But is there enough market? There are enough people who are willing to pay a higher price point for healthy produce. So people who want healthy food, people who are willing to pay a premium for organic, these people are also paying a premium for hydroponic. Like if I give you an example, in Bangalore, the demand for hydroponic spinach is much more than what we can produce. We are not able to fulfill all the orders. That is the nature of demand. Now, one last question which I will cover now, which was about, is hydroponic produce organic? Can it get organic certification? Hydroponic produced in India technically cannot be, is not qualified to get organic certificate. Though I understand there are many hydroponic growers who tell it is organic and then they sell it. What they are trying to tell is the way they are growing it is organic. But legally, hydroponic produce in India cannot be called as organic. Different countries have different kind of guidelines. The United States allow hydroponic to be called as organic. In United States, if you are growing hydroponics, using hydroponics, and you have multiple different protocols that you are following, you can call it organic, you can get a certificate. But in India, it is not allowed. In India, anything which is not grown in soil cannot be getting an organic certificate. In India, this is classified by NPOP. NPOP is National Program on Organic Production, which is run by Ministry of Trade and Commerce. And NPOP guidelines clearly state anything which is not grown in soil, and it mentions like hydroponics, aquaponics, cannot be classified as organic. So when a seller is telling you it's organic, they are just conveying that it is safe, it is healthy. But legally, is it organic? Legally in India, it is not organic. So I think I have covered the first batch of questions which were there. Now I will open the floor to questions, and now I will take one question each at a time. So let's get started. Right. Janki has a question. You said the spinach order yesterday had a cancer-causing chemical. How do a common man identify this? Any simple technique for the same? How is it to assure that such chemicals are not there in hydroponic or organic crops? Janki, any chemical will get into the food if it is being added by someone, right? If it is not added, it will not be there. Now, what you will need to do is you will need to find out brands that you can trust. One problem in food industry or in the produce industry is it's not branded. Generally, when you go in the market, you go to a sabji wala, you will buy spinach. You will not say, I need spinach of this particular brand, right? I need tomato of this particular brand. You won't have tomato spinach as branded. It will be unbranded always. So that is a challenge. That how do you find out whether the produce that you are getting, it's coming from someone who is growing it ethically or not? That is a big challenge. And to solve that challenge, you can go for organic kind of produce or hydroponic kind of produce. But even there, the gaps can happen, like what happened with me yesterday. So how do you find out? Please understand, food do not leave color. It's a myth. Many people believe spinach is green. If you wash, green color will come out. Coriander is green. If you wash, green color will come out. No, it will not come out. If you are taking an actually hydroponic grown spinach or coriander, if you will wash it, color will never come out. If after washing you see there's a green color which is left in your pot or container, that means it was doused with melachite green. Similarly, if you look at crops like brinjal and all, varnish and purple color are used on them. Even on okra, ladyfinger, green color is used. Any food which is leaving color, there are few foods which leave color. So I'll take my words back. For example, beetroot will leave color, but most other leafy greens will never leave color. If it's leaving color, it is doused with a chemical to give it a good appearance, because as a consumer, you will only look at the color and then buy. If you see two spinach bundles, one is looking very green, other is little less green, you will go and buy naturally as a human tendency one which is looking more green, but maybe that is not safer. Maybe the one which is looking less green is safer. The long-term solution will happen when the industry will evolve. Industry has not evolved yet. There will be branded produce. You will find out which are good brands and then you will buy from those. So that is how the long-term thing will happen. Okay, now I'll start reading again. Is there any scope for agronomical crops in hydroponics? So I don't understand the term agronomical crops. I can tell you what are the different crops that can be grown in hydroponics. In a broader segment, anything and everything can be grown in hydroponics as long as you can provide a structure to support the plant. For example, when you take plant out of soil, what's happening is your soil plays a very important part. Soil gives stability to the plant. The root structure goes deep down in the soil and that helps the plant to stand upright. If you want me to grow a mango tree in hydroponics, I can do that. But then you need to give me a structure which can support the mango tree. Most of the plants which are grown in hydroponics are small height plants, or the plants which are given support externally. For example, tomatoes, which get support externally in form of trellis. Right? The reason is the hydroponic structure are very small structure. If you create a large structure, cost will become very high. Having said that, the kind of crops, leafy greens, all of you would understand, are grown in hydroponics. That's what everywhere people see. Binding crops can be grown. We have grown all kind of gourds, from bottle gourd to your ridge gourd to even bitter gourd. We have grown them in hydroponics. We have grown brinjal in hydroponics. We have grown okra in hydroponics, but commercially they are right now not very viable. People don't give a high premium for them, so we don't grow them. Even in terms of root crops, you cannot grow them in water because they will rot in water. But if you look at cocoa peat based growing, which also is a subset of hydroponic, some people in industry call it a subset of hydroponic, other people call it substrate based growing. We can even grow potatoes, onions, all the root crops, turmeric also in hydroponic. In Japan, even rice is grown in hydroponics. Yes, it can be done, but is it commercially viable in India? No, it's not commercially viable. So there will be some time before it comes there. Okay, I have a question which says, Atharv has asked, if we start hydroponic as commercial, what problems and limitations we have to face? Atharv, there are multiple challenges which will come, but all of those are small challenges, and anything you start new, challenges will come. Having said that, two key challenges you will have to solve to succeed. The first challenge that you will have to solve is around finding the market, because hydroponic produce is costly to grow. And if you grow your produce and then you go to a local mandi and try to sell your produce in local mandi, you will never make profit. That's going to be a challenge. So you need a specific market to sell your produce. Like I said, I sell in two segments. One is the hotel segment. The other segment is online players. The third segment, which I used to do, I'm not doing anymore, is retail stores. You can go there also, but instead of going to multiple stores, I sell it to one big basket. I'm not even able to suffice their order. That's why I'm not going to multiple stores, but you can do that. So you'll have to find your market. That's one challenge you will have to solve for. The second challenge that you will have to solve for is growing. You will have to understand the skill set to grow hydroponics. You will have to understand the technology. But the limitation can be solved. If you don't understand, if you don't have the people who know it, you can use automation. Many people will set up a hydroponic farm. They will spend around 1 CR to set up a 1 acre farm, but they will not spend 10 lakh extra to set up the technology to run the farm. Again, same example, just by buying a car The car will not run by itself. You will have to understand the technology. So adopt automation, and then that challenge can also be solved. Okay, please explain the economics of hydroponics in India. It says HP. I have already given you two business models. So models, hydroponics economics is currently mainly for exotics. Exotics are any case something which fetch a very high price point. For example, if you look at colored capsicum, or if you look at seedless cucumbers, these kind of things cannot be grown in open field. They can only be grown in polyhouse. And if you adopt hydroponics within that polyhouse, your yield increases a lot. So these things already are highly priced. And with hydroponics, since you are growing more than what other farmer is growing, you make more profit. So that is one segment which is earning money. The second segment with Indian crops, you will have to choose some crops where demand is high or where availability is seasonal. For example, spinach is not available during rainy season and during your summers. Even coriander price, the traditional coriander grown in fields, the price goes up to 350, 400 rupees kg in big cities during the rainy season. In hydroponics, you can grow it and make profit in those times when they are not available in the normal market. So off-season growing, and also people value the quality, they will higher than the normal produce, and economics is. Okay, I have a question. What is the main drawback in hydroponics in your point of view? If you do it right, there is no drawback. If you don't do it right, if you just look at some Google videos, get into it, then there are chances that you will burn your money. You need to understand the market. Lack of availability of market is the biggest drawback. Yeah, maybe you will take 4 or 5 cycles to learn how to grow. You will set up a farm. After setting up a farm, maybe you will take 4 or 5 cycles, 1 or 2 years, you will still be able to grow. But even after growing, if you are not able to sell, that's the biggest drawback which is there currently in the Indian market. Shilpa is asking, is it not possible to make it affordable for local market? Shilpa, eventually that will happen. But every product has a life cycle. When mobile came in first, when mobile phones came in first, even to receive a call, you had to pay. Outgoing call was 10 rupees per minute. Incoming call was 5 rupees per minute. For the first 5 to 10 years, even for incoming call, it got down to 50 paisa. You still had to pay. Today, you don't pay for calling. Today, you only pay for data, right? This all happens when economies of scale come in and when industry reaches a maturity stage. So if I am talking to you today that we are able to make a successful model by selling spinach in hydroponic, that was not possible pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, people were not willing to pay a premium for healthy food. But today we have reached that level. It's happening in Bangalore. It's happening in Bombay. It's happening in Delhi. Within next 2 to 3 years, it will start happening all over. And within next 4 to 5, hydroponic produce will be very much affordable. It will still be higher price than normal inorganic produce. But given the kind of health benefits it offers, the market will be very, very large for it. So this will happen, but it will take its time. Okay, I have a question about what about saffron hydroponics. So I don't have a very large idea about saffron hydroponics. I do get inquiries from people who want us to set up a saffron farm for them. We tell them we can't do it, and we evaluated the idea and we realized it will not be profitable. I do understand there are some news articles which came recently, couple of months back, about saffron farming in containers. But if you do little more Google, you will realize that the same news articles were there around 3 years earlier too. See, the biggest cost of doing hydroponics or any controlled environment agriculture is climate control. So if you are growing saffron in a container and you are already in a climate like Kashmir, you will make money. But if you're in a climate like Ahmedabad or Nashik, you will not make money because saffron will give you production only 3 to 4 months in a year. And climate control cost will be very, very high. So when we did our mathematics, we realized that it's not going to make money. And the articles are same articles which get repeated every 2-3 years, and we decided not to pursue it. But we may be wrong, guys, because we realize it will not work. Maybe we are wrong. You may look at people who have done it and talk to them about saffron. Okay, Revat, cereal pulses. Thank you, Revat. Cereal and pulses can be grown, but commercially it will not be viable. to grow them in hydroponics. Like I said, in Japan, rice is being grown. There is something called black rice, which is grown in hydroponics. Cereals can also be grown, but in India, it won't be viable. Okay, what about nutrient difference in regular farming veggies and by hydroponics? It's a very interesting question, and thanks, Professor Joshi, for asking this question. There is a widespread belief. I would not say it's a myth. I would say it's a belief that there will be a nutritional difference in hydroponic produce versus organic produce versus inorganic produce, and that belief is in some way right. But please understand how nutrition works. Plants takes nutrients and then it converts it to a form edible by human, and whatever nutrient plant is taking, that is the nutrient which is being converted to the form which plant will provide to you at the end of day. Now, what happens? Plants take nutrients in the form of ions. So if you are using fertilizers are available in ionic form. Plants can very readily adopt them. And that's where plant growth is very fast by using fertilizer. If you take an organic nutrient generally is a compound. It needs to be broken down into ions, and after that only plant can take it. That is where organic nutrients are more of slow release nutrients. The intake is a little slow because it first needs to be broken down. And if the temperature is not good, if the temperature is not right for the bacteria to survive, it cannot even do the breakdown work and the nutrient will not work. Now, having said that, whether you are using inorganic fertilizer or you are using hydroponic fertilizer or you are using organic fertilizer, plant will be adopting ions and it will be taking in ions and converting them into a form which is edible to you. Now, assuming you are giving the same kind of nutrient to the plant, then all these three food, if you test it in a laboratory, will have same kind of nutritional value. But what happens when we talk about nutrient? It's not one nutrient. It's not, let's say, only calcium, only iron. There are multiple nutrients. There are 20 plus essential elements which plants take. And depending upon what the plant is taking and what the plant is not taking, each of these plants may have different composition of these elements. So depending upon which side of the debate you are, what will happen if you take, for example, I said yesterday I ordered spinach from Blinkit. Let's say I order that spinach from Blinkit and I order organic spinach for Blinkit. If I send it for testing to a laboratory for different nutrients, invariably the result will be that out of 20 things that we will test for, around 12 or 14, one variant will have more, and around remaining 6 or 8, the other variant will have more. So depending upon which side of the coin I am in, if I want to promote organic, I will say, see, this spinach, organic spinach has more iron. But if I want to promote hydroponic, I will say hydroponic spinach has more calcium. So it's not like for all those items, either hydroponic is better or organic is better. What will happen for some items, the adaptability will be more in organic. For some, it will be more in hydroponic. Having said that, in hydroponic, what we are doing is we are starting with RO water. We are starting with raw water. We treat it completely, remove everything, and then we give measured quantity of nutrients. So if we are giving the right nutrient, then definitely the nutrient which will come in the produce will be good. So it has to be nutritious. In organic, and if you are doing farming based on manure, you also need to understand that manure will change from batch to batch, depending upon what the earthworm ate or what the cow ate if you're using cow dung. So every batch will have different nutrient constituents. And every batch of spinach that you will test from different organic sample of nutrient will have different nutritional, different amount of nutrients. So consistency will be more in hydroponic. Nutritious, both will be nutritious. Organic will be nutritious, hydroponic will also be nutritious. There is nothing like hydroponic vegetables will have less nutrition. In fact, they might have more because you are giving measured amount of nutrition and everything is recirculated. Nothing goes down the drain, nothing goes washed down in the soil. Okay, Yadnesh Jagtap has a question. How can I get hydroponic setup in my area? There are multiple people who do hydroponic setup depending upon how large you want. We are also one of few people who do hydroponic setup. If you are doing commercial scale, large setup. Otherwise, if you are going for hobby kits, there are enough kits available on Amazon from us, from other guys. Look at these, read reviews, whichever you like, buy from them, whichever consultant you like, go with them. And there are enough people who can help you do these setups. Okay, Snehal Jagtap has a question. Which are the marketplace and training centers in Maharashtra? Training centers, I would not know. But market for hydroponic is similar across all large cities. It's either the HoReCa segments, hotel, restaurants, and cafes, or your online segment, Blinkit, Zomato, Zepto, Big Basket, Milk Basket, or your retail stores, modern trade, we call it, Hypercity, Reliance Smart, all these kind of stores, or direct to consumer. There are many people who have created a brand and then they sell directly to consumer. Mohammed Ahmed has a question. Do you think hydroponic products will touch to common people of India since costs are very high compared to traditional methods of growing crops? Ahmed, I don't believe, I'll be very honest with you, I don't believe that this will become food of the masses. This will, but yes, it will reach middle class people. So if you look at the food ecosystem in any industry, in any developed country, the way it works is at the bottom of the pyramid, which is the majority of the population in any country, whether it's a developed nation or a less developed nation or developing nation, is the inorganic food. Inorganic food sits at the bottom of the pyramid. Then at the center of pyramid is something called local food. I'll come to local food. And at the top of pyramid is the organic food, which is the costliest. That's how the market has evolved in the US, in Europe, in most of the countries. Local food is nothing but hydroponic food, which is grown sustainably in a place near you, which is fresh, nutritious. Earlier, it was called hydroponic food. Now people talk about sustainability also, carbon footprint also, how much the food travels, what is the nutritional value, and they call it local food under one basket. So that's how the food ecosystem has evolved in all the developed nations. In India, yes, we have the inorganic sitting at the bottom, but something different is there. At the center, instead of the hydroponic food, is the organic food. And today, hydroponic food is costlier than organic food in India. This will change. With more adoption, India will be like US, Europe, and organic will come at the top again, and hydroponic will be sitting at the center, which means it will be accessible to most of the middle class population. But yes, to the larger segment of population, common people, it might still not be, it might not reach. Shraddha Chogle has a question. According to you, which one is better, hydroponics or aeroponics in case of management nutrition? There is no doubt that aeroponics is much better in terms of the yield that you will get out of a farm, because the amount of oxygen available to the plants is much higher in case of aeroponics. Having said that, it's difficult to maintain also. In hydroponics, plants are in water. For example, let's say you have a deep water culture hydroponic system, or let's forget the term deep water culture. Let's say you have a hydroponic system where plant roots are floating in liquid, floating in water. Let's say you are not able to come to your farm for a couple of days. Nothing will happen to the plant because water is still there. It's available to the plant. Like, for example, during COVID, our research farm, we were not able to access. I told you it was in an institute. For 3 weeks, we were shut it out of the institute. After 3 weeks, we went in, and our plants, which was in something called deep water culture, where you have a thick layer of water and which was an automation, it was still surviving. Nothing happened to the plant. In aeroponics, that won't be the case. In aeroponics, let's say if the nozzles are blocked and the plant roots are not misted for 2 days or 1 day, let's say Friday evening or Saturday evening, your labor went home, and Sunday they did not come, it's a holiday. Monday morning, you will go to your farm and you will realize all your crops have died. So so aeroponics is definitely much better in terms of yield. It's costly also, but you need to do it with automation. Without automation, don't even think of setting up an aeroponic farm. Okay, Bipasa Saiki has asked, does your company provide training or internship for interested agriculture students? These kind of trainings, when I'm talking to you online, these are not really going to help anyone, right? So if you are someone who would want to understand in depth, you will need to get your hands dirty, and all of that takes a lot of effort. So we don't provide free trainings. We have a job-oriented training program, which is a 3-month program. So if there are students who want to make a career in hydroponics, and if you think hydroponics is good for you, then we run a 3-month training program in which you need to enroll. You need to pay for the program. It's not free. And after 3 months, we give you a job guarantee. We will either absorb you in City Greens, or we will help you get placed in one of the hydroponic farms with one of our clients. So that is something that we do for students. That's for the students. There is something else that we do for people who want to set up business in hydroponics. For them, we do a 3-day training program in which is more about business, not technology. 2 days are about that. And on one day, we make them visit different kind of hydroponic farms so that they understand how the farms work. So that's for the business segment. And this on-field training is there, but it's a paid training and it's through an entrance exam. It's not that anyone can come in and take the training. There is an entrance exam. If you would want to do it now, we have one entrance exam, which will be held on 22nd of August. You can visit our website. You will have to enroll for it. And if you are selected after writing a written exam, then only few people will be selected for that training and they will get 100% job assurance. Okay, Nikhil has a question: how to control pest attack in hydroponics? Nikhil, just one thing. Since you have removed soil, so most of the pests are removed. Majority of pests are soil borne. So once you are not using soil, a lot of pests are removed. Having said that, in hydroponics, you still have to use pesticides. Many people will tell you hydroponic is pesticide free. It's not true. Because you cannot remove air. No matter what you do, air will be there. You will deal with aphids, you will deal with the thrips, you will deal with mites. And for those, you will have to use pest control. You can use IPM practices. You can use biocontrols like organic agents, and airborne pests are a little easier to manage. And if you are not able to manage, if you get attacked with something like thrips, or if you are get attacked by something like a whitefly, then you will have no choice but to use pesticides. Okay, Aishika Haldar has a question: at what dose the nutrient should be used? The doses vary depending upon the crop. One thing which is different in hydroponic versus soil is, in soil, a lot of nutrients are already there. So generally, when you look at a soil-based nutrients, it's NP and K, what you ask for, NPK and K, and maybe some trace elements. But in hydroponics, we start with RO water. There is nothing at all. So we need to give a balanced mix. And that balanced mix changes from crop to crop. The mix for a tomato, large size tomato, will be different. It will need more of calcium and boron. And it will be different from a mix for spinach, which will need more of iron. So for every crop, you should have a specific recipe and you should use it in a particular stand. That is where I was saying, even if you set up the farm, you may still fail if you don't have this skill set. And for those, you should, for these things, you can actually rely on automation to control the nutrients. Okay, Yogesh is asking, why should we go to hydroponic when cultivation in soil is more easy? You should not. I mean, it's not mandatory to go to. Like, you can be happy with a Maruti 800, you have a SUV Fortuner. Both things will take you from point A to point B. It's not mandatory to buy a Fortuner, but if you want, if you like, if you can afford, please move ahead. It will be healthier. It will be have less pesticide. It will be more nutritious. It will be near to you. So there are people who value that and they will move to it. There are people who will not move to it. That's okay. Even turmeric will get rot in hydroponics, right? Yes, actually, it will get rot if you are growing it in water, but if you are growing it in coco peat, it will survive. So there are hydroponic farms which use coco peat and grow turmeric. Rakshak has asked, is there any subsidy on hydroponic for a start? Rakshak, not for hydroponics, but for polyhouse cultivation of capsicum family, tomato family, cucumber family, many flowers, there is subsidy. So what you can do is you can set up a hydroponic farm using coco peat, and you can take that subsidy, which is not for hydroponic per se, but it is for growing growing high commercial value crops under protected cultivation. That is what you can get. Imran Arshad is saying, in UAE, most of the farmers are leaving hydroponic farming and returning back to the normal greenhouse vegetable production using dripping tubes. The reason for leaving is high electricity cost and same price for both produce, that is open field and hydroponic. Please share your view on this. So Imran, I was in UAE recently. I was selected by the government of India, the Dubai consulate, to talk to UAE, and I saw a very, very good reception about hydroponics. I believe that there are multiple funds, and especially if you go towards Saudi, there are enough of funds which are there for promoting hydroponic production. Now, I agree with you. Electricity cost is a high cost. That's a very big problem that needs to be solved for. And we are trying that in the research farm that we have. We are making it completely solar. We are taking it completely off grid. That is one way to reduce the cost. There's another innovation that we have implemented. I cannot talk to you about it right now because that's something which is an IP with us. And we are working on that. Having said that, my perception is different. My perception is that in UAE, government is giving more and more funds to promote hydroponics. And there are more and more farmers which are coming there. And we got a very good reception in UAE. And we believe that there are few funds which are in fact, we had a there are a couple we are accepting for commercial, but I see the interest is not died down. Interest is increasing only. Okay, so Monica is asking why one should prefer hydroponic over cultivation done in soil. Monica, it's again a matter of choice, and mostly it's a matter of commercials. Like I said, even if you are if you eat colored capsicum, or if you are eating a soil, if you are eating a cucumber which is seedless cucumber, they have been grown in a poly house. They are not grown in open field at all. So only thing a hydroponic is doing is, instead of using soil, it is using cocoa peat to grow it, or it is using dust bucket to grow it, or some other hydroponic system to grow it. Why a farmer will do that is main primary reason for these crops, which I mentioned, is nematodes. For example, soil have nematodes which can make it impossible for you to grow tomatoes or cucumbers. And if you have such a soil, what will you do? Will you not grow anything? Will you shut down your farm and not do anything? You will have to look at options, right? Second thing is water usage. Hydroponics is a sustainable form of agriculture. It will use much less water as compared to any other form, and it recycles most of the nutrients. Third is your profitability. If by giving precise nutrient, you can grow 4 or 5x of yield, the profitability can increase. And as long as market is willing to pay a premium for it, people will be willing to grow it. Okay, Shiti is asking cost of 1 acre. Again, varies by technology, varies by what you want to do. It's like asking a cost of a car. If it's SUV is a different cost, hatchback is a different cost, a sedan is a different cost. Having said that, a fully automated farm will cost anywhere between 80 lakh rupees to 2 CR, depending upon what all is getting into it. So the cost is that wide. You should first look at what you want to grow. Does your climate allow that to grow? And based on your climate and crop combination, then you should look at the cost. It will be somewhere between 80 lakhs to 2 CR per acre. Where can we get hydroponic kit if one has to start this on a small scale? There are enough people on Amazon. We are also there. Whatever you are comfortable with, and buy that. Okay, it's already 1 hour. I will just take another 5-6 minutes. Then I'll drop. Hydroponics is possible with solar energy as possible. Climate really sustainable way. If yes, that how what step is possible? Yes, in fact, in next 2 months, my commercial farm in Ahmedabad will be ready, which will be totally powered by solar. We will not take a single unit of electricity from the government. So we are doing that already, and we have developed the technology to do that. Manish is asking how much profit you can expect. Manish, depending upon your business model, if you are so 20%, 25% ROI, you will be talking about 2 years, 3 years, doesn't happen in the real world. It would 5 years, 20-25% is ROI you should look at. Which hydroponic system is used at your farms, and why is Dutch bucket system not used much? Shivani, we use 7 different kind of technologies in our farm. We use deep, we use NFT for leafy greens. We grow in cocoa peat, we grow in Dutch buckets, we grow in aeroponics, we grow in vertical towers, we grow in vertical indoor farms. So we grow in multiple systems. Your question why Dutch bucket is not used is very right, though videos. One reason is it doesn't get subsidy. So if you are a farmer and if you can get subsidy putting a cocoa peat system and no subsidy with bucket system, you will probably put a cocoa peat system because it will cost you less. You will get some subsidy. Second is a skill set. Touch bucket system is prone to nutrient accumulation. There are things like flushing that needs to be done. These are things you learn if you have grown. Most of the consultants in India are people who have not grown themselves. They just set up the system and they don't have their own farms. They set up the system and they'll go to next day, set up the system. So they don't really know how to grow in touch bucket system. So lack of skill set is again a challenge, which has limited the adoption of touch bucket system. It's a wonderful system. 40% of the tomatoes in US are grown in touch bucket system. There is no reason why it should not succeed. Okay, Redmi has a question. Can we make the use of standing water in ponds, canal, or by managing river also for hydroponic farming with the help of successful kit accordingly? Not with kit, but people do that. If you look at areas near West Bengal, Bangladesh, there are people who grow, create some raft kind of a system on the ponds, on the banks, and crops are grown there. It's possible. It's hydroponics again, not something which is a very new technology. It's rocket science. It's that we have made it seem like that. It's a very simple technology. People have been growing in this technology since ages. Aditya, does your company provide internship? No, we don't. We only take people who are serious about it through this entrance exam. We train them for 3 months and then we give them jobs and we help them get placed. Okay. Bipasha, are you thinking of expanding hydroponic product to Northeast India? Bipasha, we set up farms pan India. We are already in 14 states in India. If you would want us to set up the farm, if you have the capital, we'll be happy to talk and come for you there. I'm just skipping the questions which are repeat. Can we grow root vegetables in hydroponics? Only in a coco peat kind of a system. Root vegetable needs a soil-like system. So if you have a coco peat kind substrate, then you can grow. Is it possible to cultivate rice? Yes, it's possible. In Japan, it's cultivated. Which is the exact portal to get into to understand these things. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me just paste some links for you in case the time is about to get over. You can go through these links and or you can copy paste and then check these things. This will give you some idea, at least the way we see hydroponics. Some of you have asked for my connect also. So the first link is my LinkedIn profile. If you want to connect with me, please do it through LinkedIn. Second link is about startups. The third link is about the job-oriented training program we talked about. Then our hydroponic website, our technology website, and YouTube channel. So all these things are there where you can go and check. Okay, I'll just take 2 more questions before I call it a day. What do you think about the combination of hydroponics and aquaponics? So aquaponic is something where you have managing 2 life systems. Hydroponic is the crop life system, and you have a fish life system. You are managing both of these together. It's a wonderful system. It gives you 2 income streams. Having said that, it's complex to manage. So understand it and then get into it. The reason is for hydroponics, mostly you need pH to be less than 6 to 6.5, depending upon the crop you are growing. But for the fish life, you need pH to be more than 6.5. And every time the water is recirculated, it needs to be filtered back for a particular life form. So needs technology, needs training. If you know how to do it, it's a wonderful system. It gives you better profitability and 2 income streams. So I'll take one last question. Anup Kumar asked, any location barrier for hydroponic? That's the last question I will take. Anup, market is limited. It's largely in the big cities. So yes, there is a location barrier. If you are in a large city where there is a market, it will be good. If you're in a small city, if there is no market, profitability will be difficult. Having said that, we have set up farms in remote areas. Currently, we are setting up a farm in a tier 2 city called Mayer in MP, which is a 2-acre farm coming up. For these kind of farms, we provide them assured buyback, which we give for farms which are more than 1 acre. So if you don't have a market, if you don't have an assurance, if you're in a smaller city, I would say, please don't go for hydroponic, only go for it in near large cities. With this, I will call it a day from my end. No more questions from my side. Over to you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful, marvelous session, sir. Every time, sir, 2-way session is the best. So we are very grateful to have you here, sir. And the session actually shows how much expertise you are having in this field. So I guess our participant must have definitely enjoyed and learned from it. So we are more than happy to have you here, sir. And we would, in future also, we would like to have your expertise if possible. Yeah,
you.
sir. So
Thank you, everyone. And if anyone of you would like to get connected, I see a couple of hands raised. I'm really sorry I cannot take the session any longer. But yes, please get connected with me on LinkedIn. I have already given the link, and you can reach out to us through our website. We will take your questions. Sorry, Preeti.
yes, we would also, sir, we would also, circulate your ID of your LinkedIn, so to all our participants, so that if they want to communicate, they will definitely do so.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care, everyone, and have a nice evening. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, dear participants, now I would like to call it a day. We would be having 2 to 3 sessions tomorrow also. So, I would like to request all of you to join 5 p.m. tomorrow also. So, with this, many happy returns of the Independence Day, and thank you so much. Have a